I believe every brand has a story, and I am very interested in how well they tell their story and if they've piqued our interest enough to spend a coin on their fragrances. So today's deep dive is on the house of MEMO PARIS. MEMO PARIS is a unique and very interesting niche fragrance brand. With a lot of speculations around what a niche brand is, it's simply a brand that exclusively sells or carries a single genre. And when referring to perfume, that will be a brand that sells only perfume. So technically speaking, Chanel, Versace, Dior are not considered niche because it's a fashion brand that just sells fragrance, but it's mainly a fashion brand. But when referring to niche, that will be the Bond No. 9s, that will be the Parfums de Marlies, that would be the House of Sillage, that would be the House of Goutal. Now, one brand that is particularly mistaken to be a niche house is Tom Ford. Yes, Tom Ford fragrances are very expensive, but Tom Ford is a fashion house, not a perfume house. Even though they do have a fragrance line, they are not considered niche. So niche is often confused with price. Now you can have a niche brand that is not as expensive, which will be the House of Parlies. They are a niche fragrance brand, but carries fragrances on a lower end price point. So now that we got what niche really is out the way, let's get right into the deep dive of MEMO PARIS. So this is their story. MEMO, like memory, like souvenir, like sillage. The journey is the destination, is MEMO PARIS's motto. The time of the journey is an integral part of the experience. It is essential for the encounter with beauty to occur. Creating a perfume is part of the same movement. It is also a matter of patience and high standards in order to achieve the desired olfactory landscape. It is faithful to its vision of beauty that MEMO PARIS redraws the map of a sensitive world rich in emotions by creating a unique olfactory world map. The origin. The Parisian fragrance house of MEMO PARIS was launched in 2007 by Claire Malloy and her husband John. Both see fragrance as a journey, forging its identity around magical destinations and potent raw materials. This desire for travels to far-off places and encounters is the very reflection of the founding couples, she the Parisian Cat Leon poet, he the sporty Irish globetrotter. So in a nutshell, Claire and her husband John travels the world and create fragrances based upon their journeys and puts their emotions or feelings of each place into a bottle or their interpretation of a particular place into a fragrance. The packaging of MEMO PARIS is very unique as well. Their bottles are easily recognizable, which are tall and rectangular with a gold cap, and usually an artistic motif print adorned on the front and a frosted or tinted glass on the back, encased in a box that has their logo MEMO PARIS. Another factor that I find interesting is how MEMO PARIS boasts about the brand using natural ingredients, an ode to the natural. The most beautiful landscapes deserve the most beautiful natural ingredients. This is why MEMO PARIS fragrances allow themselves to do anything. No limitations in the choice or in the quality of their desired ingredients. The perfumer has a rare freedom to express his creativity, which allows him to create unique compositions with character, reflecting the destinations that inspire them. And the brand shares who's behind their fragrances by listing each perfumer and where their inspiration comes from and a brief description of their background. This is very helpful, especially if you really enjoy a fragrance from the brand and the perfumer. You can easily look up their other creations. MEMO PARIS gives their perfumers optimum creative freedom without restricting their palette in a relationship of trust that lasts, with a constant desire to expand the family, to open up to MEMO PARIS's universe, to new impulses, and never stop dreaming. MEMO PARIS gives their perfumers optimum creative freedom without restricting their palette in a relationship of trust that lasts, with the constant desire to expand the family, to open up the MEMO PARIS universe to new impulses and never stop dreaming. Collaborations. Since its creation, MEMO PARIS has been committed to surrounding itself with artists, photographers, and authors in order to deploy an even more imagination around a destination. Curiosity, the desire to create, and the will to open up to the world has always driven MEMO PARIS, and this momentum continues beyond Perfume and Forward. From this perspective, the publication of illustrated books dedicated to a particular fragrance was conceived. Associated with each new fragrance, they bring together an artist and an author, like a contemporary travel diary, the friend of a perfume. Discover here the talents that accompany the house, as well as the photographers who reveal our fragrances in a natural setting and send us their images like photographic postcards. Now to get into the meat and potatoes of this brand, and that is the collections. The MEMO PARIS fragrances are broken down into 4 collections. You have the Soir Nomads, which is the leather collection. It is a vintage twist to leather. The Soir Nomads collection is the leather collection, and it is described as the wake of time. A vintage twist also characterizes MEMO PARIS fragrances. It is reflected in a nomadic leathers collection, born as a subtle nod to the antique leather case and luggage that recalls the art of travel of yesteryear and that now distinguishes the MEMO PARIS universe. To give a perfume the strength of a memory, you have to allow it to blossom over time. MEMO PARIS compositions evolve beautifully on the skin and offer a longer lasting hold. The skin memorizes them. Next, you have the Fleur Bohème, which MEMO dedicates an entire collection to the flower. Next up, you have Grins Vagabonds, which is a vibrant, fruity, and aromatic botanical collection, which is also described as a hint of freshness. The Eau de MEMO, as the collection Grins Vagabonds, are emblematic of this willingness to express freshness in a perfume in a new way, with intensity and audacity. And in the Exclusivities collection, you have 3 sub-collections within that category. You have the Flying collection, you have the Escale Extraordinaire, and you also have the MEMO X collection. Now to get into the price breakdown. The average price range of a 75 ml from the brand of MEMO PARIS is about $310. The Escale Extraordinaire collection is the most expensive, and those fragrances are from $575 and up. But wait, there are a lot of less expensive options on their website that is more favorable to someone that is on a tighter budget, but you can still get a quality niche fragrance. They offer a wide variety of hair perfumes, body oils, soaps, hand creams, and bathing sets. They also offer a home collection of candles, home diffusers, travel sprays, books, and postcards. There is also a 7-sample discovery set, as well as samples for these fragrances from their site, and range from about $6 each. Twisted Lily exclusively carries perfumes from the House of MEMO PARIS, and you can save 10% off your purchase using my code Rhonda10. And yes, that does apply to the samples as well. I've created a playlist called The House of MEMO PARIS, and this is where you can find any and all reviews from this brand. I hope you enjoyed the deep dive of MEMO PARIS, and I will be reviewing fragrances from this brand in the near future. So if you enjoyed this deep dive, be sure to comment down below and let me know your thoughts. Also, be sure to subscribe if you have not done so already, as well as hitting the like button. That helps my channel, and it also shows me that you appreciate the content. Thank you so much for watching, and I can't wait to see you in the next video.